What is going on, everybody? Welcome back, Submission Fishing Live. I'm your host, Yuto. It's my job to get us all black belts in fishing. How's everybody doing tonight? Glad you could join us. Let me know how the audio is doing today. That's been the biggest pain in my ass lately, so let's see what happens. I'm going to wait for the update, see if we got a delay on this thing. We'll try a few things if we don't. It looks like it's been better, though. I got the YouTube going down on the tablet. I got like 2 cameras. I'm trying to put in some fail safes. But it looks good. I think maybe we got it. I think it was a StreamYard thing, but man, what a pain in the ass. It was like a month that thing was gone, but enough about that. Let's get into it, guys. Today we're going to talk about usual stuff. We're going to go over some Instagram questions. We're going to talk about Hurricane K. I mean, that's kind of the biggest thing we got going on, kind of what it's going to mean for fishing. I'm curious what you guys think, what your theories are, what your hypothesis is. Obviously, none of us really know, but we can kind of go over some historical things with tropical weather and stuff like that. So we'll see what it brings. We'll kind of go over that. It should be a good time. And then obviously your guys' questions, comments, we're here for them. So let's have a nice hour of some fishing talk. Let's see who we got in the house today. Leonard, number 1. Oos, welcome, Leonard. Glad you could join us, dude. Good to see you. Carl Black, Oos, welcome to the show. Spinning Rod Rebel, spamming the Oos. Pineapple emotes. Heck yeah, dude. Fish Killer, you got it. TB Metal Art Todd, welcome to the show. If you guys like fishing art, metal art, check this guy out, tbmetalart.com. He made this life-size slow death jig behind me. I guess it's not life-size, it's like giant size. But he makes the belts for Spotty Bowl, WTF, League, all that good stuff. So if you guys get catches too, like Dorados or stuff like that, and you don't want it taxidermied, but you want to kind of immortalize, definitely get it done. Hit up Todd and he can get you some metal work done. Benji Marino, Oos, evening. Submission Fishing Co. Oos, glad you could join us. Zach, what's going on, Zach? Good to see you, dude. Thank you for joining us. Let's see. Graham, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. Cave Dog, Oos, what's going on, Cal? Are you back from Hawaii or are you still doing the back and forth thing? I know you've been working a lot, but I know you're out there fishing. I saw that bluefin, dude. That's freaking awesome. Carl Black, welcome. Dario, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the show. Fishing Reps, Kevin, what's going on, man? Thanks for joining. Spam Boy TV, Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you're here. Eric the Judge Lehman, Oos, Oos, Oos. Spam it. Good to see you, Eric. Rancho Leonero, Oos. Wahoo and my sick. You getting some wahoo down there? Captain Dan, you're down fishing, right? On your little vacation or whatever. That's awesome, dude. Glad you're back. And glad you're enjoying the fishing. But when are you going down? Are you down in Mexico now? I mean, that hurricane's probably, I just hit landfall, I think. Beating the ass. Dondo's fishing. Who do we got here? Special guest appearance before she goes to bed. Baby Soleil. Want to say hi? You going to go to sleep?
Hopefully.
She's checking out the camera.
No promises. She's a natural. This is for the judge.
This is for Eric the Judge Lehman. Request. She's actually awake today. What are you gonna do? Got to teach her how to gaff some fish. You gonna go to bed?
Just gotta work off that hospital bill.
Oh, she's checking it out. Who's in the chat? All your future fishing partners? Go to bed.
Go to bed. That's what we hope.
Go to bed. She's been up all damn day, crying and eating. Let's see. What else we got here? Yeah, I was just talking about that. Like, what's funny is I've got some Inception going on here. Got my StreamYard with my tablet set up with another camera, like just in case. I don't know what it is. Nothing changed. Like my setup stayed the same. I think it was either the app or YouTube or something. Because I would do like tests with it and everything seemed good. And for like the past month has been bad. So I'm just happy it's working now. Thank God. It was so annoying. Yeah, no more mic mask. Whatever works, dude. That was so funny. Frank Villa Gomez. Oos, welcome to the show. Glad you could join us, dude. Welcome. Salty bastard. What's going on, dude? Welcome to the show. Let's go. 600-gram egg roll. 600-gram ogre. It's my own jig. I can't even pronounce it. Ogre rainbow roll for the win. Yeah, dude, they've been killing it. Let's see. Heading out to Ensenada tomorrow. Hope it's not too bad out there. You are, dude? Are you really? That's crazy. You gonna drive or like you going out to the water? I know that hurricane hit landfall, dude. So hopefully it's all good. That's like the storm was like right up that way. That's crazy. Let me know how it goes. Tim, welcome to the show. I pronounce your last name, but I probably butcher it. Ogilvy. You let me know. Thank you for joining us. Glad you're here. Back from Hawaii, at least for the next year. Nice, dude. Richie Rich, Oos, what's going on, dude? Welcome to the show. I think we got everybody. Thank you. Blame it. What's that? The storm? Yeah, dude, she is ready. Keep telling her, like, look, if you cry, you don't get on the boat. That's just the way it is. You can't gaff a fish if you're crying. Let's see. By the way, guys, I just wanted to, when you guys see the emotes, some guys just got the belts or they got like the other, like the 20-gram and stuff. They're just channel members. So if you want to consider being a channel member, you can go ahead and join, get some of the perks. If not, it's all good too. Oh, my mic problems. Yeah, probably, dude. Newsom. 2 weeks to flatten the power curb, right? Or the power grid. That's crazy. Let's see in the news if I got anything. Oh, next week I'll be speaking with the South Bay Fishing Club. So if you guys are in the chat here and you're part of that club, I know Matt Groff runs it up there. So I'll be up there. I forget what day it is. I think the 14th. I think it's Wednesday next week. So if you're part of the South Bay Club, I'll be fishing up there doing like a slow pitch jig seminar. So looking forward to see you guys. I know it's up in LA. So yeah, that'll be cool. Get to meet you guys. So if you have any questions, I know I met a lot of you on the boat. So I went on the trip. That was the Poseidon trip. We went on, me and Kevin. So I got to see a lot of you guys. So I'll be up there. Bring your questions. I'm going to talk slow pitch, everything slow pitch jigging. I'm going to bring rods, kind of teach you guys everything I know. At least try to. So that'll be cool. Looking forward to talking to you guys. Whatever you guys want. Spotties, pelagics. We'll catch it all, man. And let's see. New to tackle stores, Fisherman's Access. So they're a new tackle store. So check them out. Shout out to all the tackle stores carrying the slow death jigs. We got Fisherman's Access, Shark Bait, Hogan's, Fisherman's Access, and Island Fishing Tackle. Right? Am I missing anybody? If I am, Kevin, let me know. So we got like 5 stores carrying us now. So that's awesome. Thank you guys. No love from San Diego. San Diego don't want us, guys. So we're a San Diego company, and LA and Orange County, they love the slow death, but San Diego, they want nothing to do with us. They'd rather carry jigs from the East Coast. We'll get in here. Somebody will take us on here. With all you other guys, dude, thank you so much. It's Fisherman's Access. Welcome. Denny Perez, Oos, welcome to the show. Tackle Express. Yeah, they were the first ones. Tackle Express for sure. So check it out, guys. And yeah, I think that was it news-wise. So what do you guys got going on today? We've got, obviously, the main topic is Hurricane K. It's coming up. And what does that really mean for fishing? You know, it's hard to say. Everybody's kind of got hypothesis right now. But we're not going to know until it passes. The good thing is it's just hit Mexico. I mean, that's not the good thing. The good thing is it's bringing in the warm water. It's just hit Mexico. It's coming up. We had to cancel the pickle run, which was going to be Saturday, because of the wind is just going to be too much. By the time it actually hits San Diego, it's not going to be a hurricane. It's going to be like a tropical storm. One of the things that's significant, though, is apparently a hurricane getting this close, I think within 250 miles of San Diego, is significant because it's only happened 4 times since 1950. So this isn't an everyday thing. It's not a thing that we deal with every single year. It's not like the hurricanes come in. People in Florida are probably laughing at us. when we say a hurricane, but they don't happen very often here. The warm water, that super warm weather has been pushing it up, and it's going to kind of kick off, but we're still going to get a big tropical storm, even though we're not going to get the hurricane. But I just want you guys to understand the significance of how big it actually is, and how significant it is that they don't happen very often. And one of the crazy things is every time this happens, the fishery kind of changes around here. So people like myself are super excited. It could kill the fishery. It could make it better. I think it's going to make it better. I mean, that's kind of what everybody's banking on, but we're really not going to know. Historically, things like this have brought in species that we haven't seen before. We've already got the crazy Dorado bite, and the tuna sticking around. So we're excited to see what happens. Last time this kind of happened, there was this is what the stuff that like brought the Corvina in. So Eric, I know you love the bay fishing. You're the bay fishing man. I'm going to talk a little bay fishing here, but the Corvina came in, I think in like the 1990s, mid 90s, during a big storm, and they came up the warm water with the coast. It was a kind of a storm and a tropical front, and they stayed here, staying with the triggerfish. So, it's really an opportunity for different fish to come in. What it does is it moves and it pushes that warm water, pushes it up, and we're hoping it brings some tropical fish in. We're not going to know. It's weird because the bite is kind of like, it's gotten weird, and it like kind of tapered off. Like I went dodo fishing yesterday, and I went out, and for the last couple of days it's been slow. So the fish are like, they're still here, but it's kind of freaking, it's kind of strange. Everybody's like in that holding pattern, right? The rain's coming in, it's getting hot. And I went out there. I didn't stay too long. I just went like maybe 4 hours. I jumped out there real quick, found a couple patties. The patties I hit were dry. So the ones I found, I just went off of Oceanside. Most of the Dorados looks like they're north. They're down south in Mexico, but like that San Diego stretch, kind of San Diego to Oceanside's been kind of flat. But from like Newport, like Dana Point and up, it has actually been a lot better. So they're moving upwards. But even on the radio, he wasn't hearing too much. People were finding them and not getting them to bite. It was kind of like the early Dorado when they first showed up. They were here, but they weren't biting, and then they went nuts. And now they're kind of like kicking back again. The water, it's definitely doing some freaking crazy stuff for sure. So we're gonna see what happens. But yeah, the swell was crazy. It was like no wind. I went out yesterday. It was pretty much flat and dead, but the freaking swell coming out of the jetty was crazy. I just got a 19-foot boat, little pilot house boat, and I don't know if any you guys have been to Oceanside, but when you launch the harbor there, it's crazy. It's super narrow, but the water breaks there, dude. It's not like a Mission Bay or like San Diego Bay. It's so big, you go through it. It's not a big deal. Oceanside is very tight, and there was waves, big ass waves, literally breaking like inside of the jetty, like leaving the channel, and it was crazy. I've been out there in sport boats before, like years ago, and some of them had to turn around because they couldn't get out because it was just pushing them back. It was swell. Have you guys ever watched like those shows where people like leave over the haul over jetty and stuff in Florida where it's like crazy? It's not that bad, but these were like big rollers. So I made it out. Not a big deal. Found some dry patties, and then I pretty much call it a day. Mostly I got my electronics done. So I was testing out my Simrad. I got a new Airmar transducer and that stuff. So just kind of getting it dialed in. Talked to Kevin on the phone because I couldn't even figure out my trying to get like the temperature turned on, dude. It was like all new menus. I didn't know how the hell it worked, but I actually found it. I couldn't replicate it probably if you wanted me to, but it was good. Found bonito. Like I actually found a lot of bonito. They were little dinks, but they were schooling like crazy. The bonito were out there biting the jigs. And I haven't seen them around. So the bonito were out, which was pretty cool. Bonito bite's always fun, but they were tiny, like a little mackerel size, but they fight like crazy, man. Yeah, so the water's definitely, the doders are still out there, are still biting. They're a little more north, but they're like kind of in that wait to see pattern, which is interesting. So really excited to see what happens. Anyways, when I came back, it was like, dude, the waves, like it was scary coming in the Oceanside jet. It was the first time like in my boat so far where like I had that, my butthole was like puckered up big time because it's so small, and to like the west side jetty, or the one closest to the shore, the waves were straight up. They were like bigger than my boat, and they were like breaking on the side. So I had to wait and time it and come in on like the north side of the jetty like really tight and fast, just because they weren't breaking. But it was crazy. I've never seen that before. Like when the waves like higher, than the boat is, and they were just rolling through. But I just punched it, freaking boogie through and made it. So luckily we got lucky through there. It was like, dude, it was hairy. And I've seen it before. Like at first couple times I've launched out there, it hasn't been bad, but this time is it. So I don't know if that's the hurricane impact. But yeah, so the hurricane's coming through. The water's already kind of acting funny. The fish are already acting funny. Um, so I'm kind of excited to see what it's going to bring. The storm's coming in. Like I said, it's landfalled into Mexico, and then it's going to move out. Saturday it's going to be super windy, and then Sunday it's going to die out. Middle of next week, it's pretty much going to be over. So it's going to be exciting to see once all the dust settles, kind of what's out there, what's happening, kind of what it looks like, and we're excited to see what kind of fish it brings in. Everybody's wondering like if we're going to see wahoo. So when me and Kevin, maybe you can tell me about this. Remember we went on the trips. We went down to Mexico last week. We went on to, maybe it was the week before. It was like a 2.5 day, and somebody caught a tuna, but I don't know what kind it was. Somebody caught like a rare tuna, or it was somewhat significant because was it like a blackfin tuna or something like that? There was only one caught on the boat, but somebody was saying that those fish or those tuna usually run with the wahoo. So that's kind of what everybody's saying, if it's going to bring the wahoo in. Wahoo really like that tropical fish, and that'd be really cool. I've never caught a wahoo before. I'd love if they were in striking distance, but that's kind of what we're all betting. Everybody's kind of taking bets in the fishing world. So it's an exciting time when you know what it brings and what it can do, the different species it brings in, how it can changes the geography, it changes like everything within the water, and the fishing and what comes in. So it's exciting times. It's not gonna be a good time to fish this weekend. Most of the boats are going to be pretty much anchored in. They're not going to go out. We'd canceled our kayak trip, obviously, but super excited to see what you guys think. You think we're going to see the wahoo, or do you think we're not going to see the wahoo? I hope we do. I think that'd be badass. I'll catch up on the chat here. Tackle Express. Oh yeah, we got all them. Picked up a few jigs from Sharkbait last week. Hell yeah, Carl, dude. Thank you. That's awesome, dude. Yeah, they've been selling us. So these guys have been making reorders and stuff. So I really appreciate it, guys. San Diego knows it'll fly off the shelf. Ooh, so listening my way home. What's going on, Salty? Glad you could join us. In my YouTube recommendations, there was a video about slow pitch jigging in Florida. Yeah, the jigging is actually bigger in Florida because they can fish like a lot deeper out there. Like those dudes go to it actually was there before it came to California. So like it's moved Japan, and then like Australia, I think, picked it up next. But Florida, I think they're like 2 years ahead of us on the jigging for sure. So they've been slow pitch jigging before we have. Like, Benny Ortiz, he's kind of like the big name in slow pitch jigging in America. He's a Florida guy. They've definitely they've been into the jigging longer than we have, and they've got the perfect fish for it too, because they have reefs that are like thousands. They can fish like unlimited depths. They don't have to worry. They don't have like the same regulations. Florida's a great place to fish, just as far as like state regulations and stuff, because it's not like they're fishing friendly over there as opposed to California, where they're like, we have to like fight for our rights here. Over there, it's like it's not as bad. The government actually like likes them, so they get a little more opportunities. But man, they be fishing reefs 1,000 feet deep, and I've seen like videos where they're like 1,000-gram jigs and stuff like that. It's freaking crazy, because they got the snapper, they got true snapper, the real red snapper. They got like tile fish, the red snapper, like all kinds of stuff that just eat the jigs. They do it mostly for bottom fishing. I don't think they've been doing the pelagic so much like we have. Or I say we, like me, I don't know. I'm like the only one fishing the pelagics with them. Obviously the big bluefin, and like the big jigs have been a thing, but I mean, I'm out there slow pitching Dorado, tuna, dude, yellowtail, like it doesn't matter. Rockfish, slow pitch everything, man. We'll get them. But yeah, it's actually been bigger in Florida longer than it has here. So they're even a little more, they're ahead of the game. Cal, we need to do is sit in at all the local tackle shops and yeah, dude, for real. It's crazy, huh? You think like San Diego be all over it, but I guess they're not about it. Let's see. I bet Johnny Jigs YouTube video recommendations all yeah. Or you get them. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, they've been around a while. That's like what they do is jigs themselves. And they were out here in California too, trying to get on our tuna bite. They're cool dudes. I've chatted them on back and forth like private messages with Instagram and stuff. They're pretty cool guys. Once my wife hooked a marlin near the islands, I knew this shit was getting exotic. Yeah, I've been hearing. You know what's crazy is the marlin bite's actually been. I've been hearing about it. Not even people necessarily. I think you sent me that video, right, Fernando? That was funny. Do I hook in the marlin? But I've been hearing more and more about people hooking marlins, even a few landing some, just looking for like the tuna and the bluefin and the dorado and stuff. Except because the marlin eat the dorado, which is crazy, and even some of the yellowfin. So we got like the circle of life. You got the patty, which brings like the plankton and everything else. Then you get the bait fish. Then you get the predatory fish. And then you get the big fish, like the marlin coming in to eat the freaking dorado and stuff like that. That's nuts, dude. You imagine that? It's just, that food chain is crazy. It's like one predator and then it's the next. But the marlin is like they don't even school. It's just like one of them wrecking a whole school of fish. You know, it's like school versus school. The dorado school and the yellowfin school fighting the school of the bait fish. But marlin's like hell no. They just come in by themselves and just wreck shop, dude. Crazy. Following the sea, yeah, dude. That was a sketch, bro. You know what? It's like landing too, right? Like when you landing is harder than going out to sea, even in a kayak, because it's like you can take a few waves over. It's not that big of a deal. But when you're picking up speed and you start to turn and like a wave's behind you, it's like a whole different. It's a whole different thing. Luckily, my boat hauls ass. So it was like once I found an opening and it like broke and I was like counting the sets, I blasted that thing, dude. I went like 35 miles an hour through that thing. It was crazy. Went out of Oceanside Monday to the 209. Couldn't get to the dodos to bite. Must have had around 100. Yeah. So, but that's the same story I've been hearing. That's interesting. Yeah. This week, it's kind of got funky. Some people were still getting them. Like I was hearing the radio chatter. Like one guy was like, they got a full bag. So they were taking off. I think it was a sport boat. And then a lot of other people were like on the patties, like you seeing them and then couldn't getting them to bite. So some of them bite, some of them didn't. I think it's just a matter of finding the patty. But yeah, I definitely heard about that. I was definitely going to go out to that area, the 209. Then what was that, like the 312? I only went about halfway out. I didn't go all the way out there. It was like kind of foggy and I don't have radar. So went about halfway in between those 2 points. And I did find some patties. So I stepped on them. I probably didn't go far enough because I didn't even see the dodos on mine. It was like they weren't even there. But I was like, yeah, I'm by myself. I don't know if I'm going to head out that far. They kind of like went north and then I did like the Encinitas loop. That's good insight, dude. Good insight. So yeah, some guy like at the boat dock was telling me, he's like, yeah, we're going out Friday. I was like, I don't know if you are. I don't think you are going out Friday, but good luck. Look for some wahoos and triggers in the next couple of weeks. I've had some time coming into Oceanside Harbor with a 65-foot sport boat there before. Always too much fun for a boat operator. Yeah, man, it was crazy. What's nuts is I've been on a party boat. I think I went on the Electra once. Like this was like probably 7 years ago. On one of the smaller boats, they turned around. They couldn't make it, and even when we went out, it was like, dude, it was hairy. The captain had to like wait in between sets, and he punched it. I mean, that big ass boat was going full throttle, and he made it out. It was cool, but yeah, man, that harbor can be freaking nuts sometimes. Danny Perez got some bonito at Point Loma on the Assassin last week. Awesome, dude. Heck yeah. I was getting them. I think I got them on. I think I was using the Sumo. But yeah, the Assassin will get them too. That's awesome. Were you were you at the docks from the shore, or were you out there on a kayak or like on a boat? So somebody was asking me, I think who was that? I like Greedo, Alexis or Alex. He was saying he only fishes from shore, but he wanted to know where the bonito were. I'm pretty sure they're still in the bays. At least I'd have to guess that they probably are, because I was close when I was catching bonito out there. Even when I came into the harbor, I was still getting them at like 30 feet of water, so they were like within that whole freaking range of water. They were everywhere. I didn't keep any of them, but I do like bonito, but a little too small. Oceanari is a pain on a calm day. The calm days, it was weird because there wasn't any wind or any. Luckily, there was no wind, so I had that going for me. That it was basically flat calm. Once you got out on the water, it was good. It was like no problemo. I think we'll see the Wahoo this year, dude. I hope so. That'd be so badass. If we get the Wahoo this year, this is gonna be like 2022 is gonna be it's gonna be that year we talk about for a long time, guys. Where we're gonna be like the wide open Dorado bite, the bluefin we're here all year. And then if you get the Wahoo on it, it's already been a legendary year. Even if we don't get the Wahoo, I've never seen the fish wide open as they are now. So crazy. Yeah, it'd be awesome. TB Metal Art calling it. We'll see, guys. I think it's gonna be the year. What do you guys think? Wahoo in my freezer? I hope so. That'd be awesome. Get your wire leaders ready. Yeah, if you guys don't know, the teeth on those things are it's like a giant barracuda, but like worse. So and those things are nasty too. They jump out of the water. You got to be careful with the Wahoo. Their teeth are gnarly and they will saw you off. So yeah, that wire leader for sure is probably not going to be a bad idea. Or some thick ass mono, like 200-pound. Oh yeah, here we go. We use 100-pound mono leaders in Hawaii. Yeah, they'll chew through it, man. Darisimas. Oh, I left a bunch of slow death jigs in the Azores for my brother-in-law. I have to replenish. Dude, that's freaking awesome. Tell him to send pictures, man. We've seen we got fish from I've seen fish from China, like hairfish. Who was it? Mr. Lupus from I think he owns the real happy clothing company. He sent me pictures where he was in Bora Bora catching like these blue, just crazy fish on the jig. So that was pretty cool. We're starting to get a lot of pictures from like different areas. Like it's nuts. Freshwater fish. It's cool seeing like all the different fish that are being caught on them. 20 grams on fire this weekend. That's awesome, dude. We see those pics, Brian? Shout them out, man. Well, were you doing bait fishing, Brian, or were you out offshore, like trying to do the micro jig thing? I want to see a dodo on a 20. That'd be awesome. I'm getting them on the 60 and 40. I've been getting yellowfin on like 40-gram jigs and 60-gram jigs. And then I throw it out the 130, and then I got a yellowtail, which was crazy. The smallest fish ate the biggest jig, and the bigger fish were eating the smallest jigs. Take that for what it's worth. Oh, caught 15 plus spotties in an hour in at the end of the offshore trip. Heck yeah, dude. That's awesome. I was able to teach my daughter how to slow pitch the Mudo special in 15 minutes. And she was ripping the spotties. Hell yeah, dude. I love hearing that, man. That's so awesome. Which one were you using? Assassin or the Sumo? Or both? Oh, you were on a boat right by the kelp. Yeah, dude. Yeah, Bonito love those things. Tuna love the jigs, dude. It's crazy. Still got some open spots for the 22nd for a full day on the Liberty. Let me know if you want to go. I will do, but I've got my trip coming up the 24th. I think it'll be too many days out. That was fun. Well, we went on that last year. That was a good trip, dude. But we drove around, and then that was one of those days too, right, where we kind of drove around and then got on them late. But there really wasn't much going on. Driving, and then we kind of hit a spot, and then got on the bluefin, if I remember correctly. Yeah, wire leader boys, or you're screwed. I've never fished for Wahoo in my life. I've never seen one like in real life. I've never seen one caught. So it's all like on YouTube. I've seen them and stuff like that. So, but never anybody. I've never been on a boat with them or anything. If the Wahoo are there, I'm going out. I mean, hands down. I'm gonna at least take a crack at them. Slow death Wahoo would be the bomb. Yeah, they're like big ass torpedo. Yeah, dude, they are. They're crazy. Oh, the sumo, nice, dude. I forgot cave dog. Yeah, dude. If you want to join the trip, hook up. That's good stuff. Let's see. Oh yeah, one of the other things I want to talk about, the like with the storm coming in and everything, is like even the surf fishing. Like I'm seeing lots of reports that like even the surf is going to be dangerous. So it's going to tear the surf up too. So um, it's crazy. It's going to change. It's going to change a whole lot here. I'm hoping if we got submission to sea coming up the 24th. It's still pretty early. I think it's good timing. I'm hoping it comes in, does what it's going to do, and then that gives us like a week, 2 weeks for things to kind of settle down, and then hopefully it picks up again. Obviously, we can't predict what the hurricane does, but hopefully it's for the better. Hopefully it makes the trip more enjoyable than it does less enjoyable. At least that's what I hope. It's my kid's B-day, so I can't make the trip. Just take him with you, dude. He probably doesn't want to go fishing. Your wife probably wants to spend time with him. I get it. Uto, a little tip. When you get a wave pushing your boat from behind, I trim up my motor and keep the bow up. I've seen boats getting flipped from being pushed from behind. I have an 18-foot column math, always trimming. It's good advice, dude. I'll have to remember that. Doug Ruben El Sueño Oos, welcome to the show. That's right, baby. Spam those chat emotes. Let's see here. Because if you guys got any more insight on the hurricane, let me know. See what else we got here. I know we got some questions from other people. We had some good questions actually come in. Ironfish wanted to know, these are the Instagram questions. So if you guys leave us questions on Instagram, we'll ask them there. And this one we already covered. This hurricane really make more pelagic fish come our way? As we talked about, historically, yes. Historically, yes, that has been the case. Hopefully it stays that way. You know, it'd be cool if we got like more bay fish. You guys ever seen like the golden? We got the spotted bay bass, which is the spotted sand bass. There's the golden spotted sand bass down in Mexico. Check out pictures, dude. It's cool. It's like a different fish than the bay bass. It's similar to the spotty, but it's a golden spotty. Little different. I think a little too far in, but it'd be badass if something like that got pushed up here. Probably too far to swim for those lazy asses, though. I feel like the spotties don't want to do that work. Bass just want to kick it. Izzy Oos, welcome to the show. That good. Glad you joined. Yeah, the problem is, I was gonna say, she probably wants to see her son for the birthday. I get it, dude. I get it. You got to do what you got to do. That would be awesome, dude. That would be awesome. That would totally make it. Even if just the dodos and stuff stick around, that'd be worth it. Even like the big yellow tag, anything. Just as long as you're catching some fun fish. Let's see. We had a question from Leighton Javier. Responded to your question. Dorado, yellowfin, yellowtail, terminal tackle. If you're gonna do terminal tackle, I'm assuming you're gonna be fishing live bait. You don't really need much. You just need some hooks. I prefer circle hooks as opposed to J hooks, and then probably just some weights in case you want to either drop shot it or do the sinker rig where you just need a rubber band. Basically, you're just gonna rubber band it up. The hooks I like to use are these. I like the circle hooks, and this one's an offset circle hook, and this one's got the ring. So it's got the ring, got the circle hook. This is a 3.0. This is probably on the larger side. It'd probably work for everything, though. You can probably go for a 1/0, 2/0, 3/0. But that's the way to go. I like the circle hook with the ring on it. You can use J hooks. I'm a circle hook guy myself. The circle hook slides through. So the thing is, when you're dealing with these fish that have teeth, especially like the yellowfin and bluefin, they can chew off your line. When you have a J hook, I don't think I have one laying around here, but the thing with the J hook is that it doesn't curve in. and you have to set the hook. But some of the times you gut hook the fish, so it swallows the bait and it eats it, and you set the hook. But sometimes you set the hook deep, and when the hook is deep in its mouth, you can get your line chewed off by the teeth. Um, and that's where circle hooks, I think, really, really excel, because you don't have to set a circle hook. Basically, when you feel it eating, all you're gonna do is wind into it, and it'll set in the corner of the mouth. So it's designed to like drag. It drags through its body, and then once it hits the corner of the mouth, that thing right there just bites, and then it turns into its mouth, and you get that hook set right in the bony part of the corner. So you don't lose a lot of fish with the circle hooks, and you don't have to set the hook. So circle hooks, I would say terminal tackle, probably your 1/0, 1 to 3/0 should cover everything. Unless you're going for like the giant bluefin, you might want to go like a 5/0, but I'd say the 2 to 3 is probably good. And then basically you're going to size your hook kind of to the bait size. Lately, the bait's been like dying, from what I understand, but before that, it's been pretty big. So, this anchovies have been, or I should say, the sardines. Sardines have been big, but if you get the small anchovies, you want a small hook, because if you get a heavy ass hook, it's not going to swim. Um, that's my recommendation. I like to nose hook baits too. If somebody's going to ask, a lot of people like to butt hook or tail hook. The only time I butt hook fish is if there's lots of sea lions around, because when you hook them through the nose and there's tons of sea lions out, so if you're like near the islands, you're gonna have to butt hook. They can see the hook and they're smart, and then they eat your bait fish off, and you feel the tug like 100 times. You think you got a bite, but it's just sea lions eating the bait off and then leaving the head on the hook. But when you butt hook, like right near the anal fin, or like tail hook it or belly hook it, the sea lions won't eat it because they can see the hook. Aside from that, I don't really like the butt hook, to be honest with you. I don't think they swim as good. I think they die fast. The meat on the back, like they rip through it. I don't know. Last time we went out and I just nose hooked, I was getting bit like crazy. The fish was still swimming, and I was having a lot of luck with it. Because on that trip we went on, when the yellowfin and bluefin were out during the day, they weren't eating the jigs. So me and Kevin, we had to break down and do some. We had to sin and do some live bait fishing. And I was nose hooking all my stuff, but we were so far offshore, that wasn't a big deal. Another tip too is, so if you guys are gonna be fishing live bait, like submission at sea, use a circle hook, but let your fish eat the bait. Like don't set the, especially if you're on like a circle hook, don't set the hook prematurely. And I think that's a problem a lot of people have, is they feel the tug, and right when they feel the tug, they yank the fish off, and a lot of times you just rip the bait out of its mouth, or you're on a J hook and you miss the bite. A lot of times these fish eat. They bite it. If you ever seen a Dorado eat like a big bait, even they'll eat a mackerel or like one of these big sardines, they'll take a bite out of the side, and a lot of times it's like a couple bites. They chew it, and it'll be like bite, 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 and then they'll bite the head, or they suck it down. It's not like a bass, where you've seen bass eat, where they inhale the water and they suck it in, and like all the sand comes in and they like inhale the worm. They'll actually eat this thing and they'll chew on it. Bonito do kind of the same thing. Yellowtail, they don't necessarily just dive a huge bait. They go to take a bite first and then they eat it. So when you're feeling it, let them take it. Just let it go. Like when you feel you've got something on there, just relax, let them eat the bait, and you're going to notice your line taking off. So when you're free spooled and you've got the fly line going and it starts going faster, just don't panic. You know you got a fish on. Just relax. Let it do its thing. Let it start running. Then you put it in gear. If you've got a little lever drag, slowly put it on. It'll set the circle hook, lock it in tighter to where you want to do, then reel it in. If you're fishing a spinning reel or like a conventional star drag where it's just got the switch, that's where it's important to really let your drag loose, because if the fish is running and it's running hard, running fast, and you throw the bail down on a spinning, or you flip the switch on like a star drag reel, you can break the fish off, because it's just, if it's too much drag, it's going to break. You're going to get the rebound. It's going to stretch. You're going to lose it. So that's why you got to back your drag off a lot. So when you hit that switch, you want it to take the line out, and it'll set the hook for you. You don't want, like, if you button it down and you hit the, I've had that happen before. I've done it myself. So I know from personal experience on a spinning reel. It's like a couple of years ago, I had a big dodo on and it was running. And this was on a spinning setup without fly lining. And I was like, I had to slam the bail down. My drag was too tight, and just instantly, bing, broke the knot, broke the line, and you'll lose it. So that's where lever drag is actually handy, because you can slide it in slow, and it's like, that's the one benefit to lever drags is it's like applying the brake. You don't have to slam it on. You can literally like slide it up, and it just like it slows the reel down. Other reels don't do that. So that's like the one benefit to lever drags when you're dealing with live bait, is you can slowly apply that brake. So really think about that, guys. Circle hooks with the bait ring. Look into a lever drag. If not, just make sure your drag is set correctly and let it eat. Let it eat. Let it run. Let it do its thing. Don't be in a hurry. Right when you feel the bite, you see these dudes swinging for the home run, right? And they're like peeling it back, and they don't ever catch the fish. They'll probably just rip the bait halfway out of its mouth. Be patient. Let it eat. You don't even need to put anything on. Just let it coast, and you'll start seeing it run. And you're like, oh, you got it. You know you got it without ever even having to set the hook. You know it's in its mouth and it's taken off. I don't plan on using too much live bait, but sometimes you got to go to the dark side and you got to use the live bait. Jigs, at least you don't have to worry. So you got the hooks on the two sides, because when they eat it, they hit it in the middle. I don't know if you guys knew that. So normally when they eat baits, they hit it they hit it like this from the side. That's why they get bit horizontally so often. And that's why when they bite it sideways and you pull it to set the hook, they didn't even eat the hook at this point. So let them eat it, and then they'll flip it around. They'll turn it again, and then they eat the side, then they eat the head. So there you go. Increase your success rate. Rich, how you like that? Color math. I'm thinking of getting 19 GTX. I have to look that up. I don't know what boat that is. I'll take a look at it. Shout out to Leighton. He's a fish slayer. Oh, dude, Franks. That's awesome. Yeah, I haven't seen him, so he gave me a shout out. He probably knows then. Why is he asking these questions? He's setting us up. Yeah, dude, just hooks and weights, man. That's all you need terminal tackle wise, as far as that. Unless you're talking like jigs, but even still, I've got rid of kind of swivels. I've kind of really reduced it down as far as what I'm adding on the jigs and stuff. When I first started doing it, like I had all kinds of shit on my line. It was like swivels and beads, and I don't know. And it's like I really lessened that down too. Trying to make it like much more streamlined. I think it's better. Even though I was still catching fish like that. So maybe not I don't think it would hurt so much, but I don't think it was necessary. I think that's my point. I had a lot on, and I don't think it was hurting the fishing, but I don't think it was necessary either. So it's like, if it's not necessary, why use all that other BS? I don't think it was helping. Maybe that's the point. I should get out. Yeah, hopefully he's watching then. Ask the question. That's funny. Try collar hook. Yeah, I've never collar hooked the fish. I've seen it done. If I can do the nose, I like the nose, man. It's like it's so solid, like that cartilage part, like right in between its eyes. They stay alive for like a long ass time. And they just they swim, dude. And it's hard. Like the fish really has to eat it to like get it off the hook. Sometimes when you butt hook it, it just like it tears. Sometimes they tear through just from like swimming. They just swim off the hook, and it's like they tore their body to pieces. But sometimes you have to. When you got sea lions, and some people in general just like it, because we were out there when we were offshore. A lot of people were butt hooking, and there was no sea lions around. They just preferred it. So it's whatever you like. Whatever gets you bit, that's what you stick with. I'll try the collar hook, but I know nose hooking works for me, so it's like I stick with it. Denny Perez. Submission will be my first offshore trip. Any gear recommendations? That's awesome. That's crazy. Jesse, I think, said that too. Jesse Permel was also saying it's like his first offshore trip. Yeah, somebody else was asking. Benji on Instagram wanted to know if there was a update on the submission at sea. Same, Benji. I mean, it's good to go. Those of you guys that don't know what's going on, the 24th, we're going out. Submission at sea, we're going out on the Malahini. It's an all-day trip. It's going to kind of make an event out of it. Captain Dan's making pizzas. We're going to have raffles. You're going to get some jigs with your trip. It's just be a fun time, man. And a lot of people here from the chat in this group are going, so that's super awesome. So all you guys that haven't met each other, a lot of these guys have met each other, but for those of you that don't, some of you new viewers, if you want to check it out, I don't know. Maybe there's like 1 or 2 tickets left. I don't even know if we have tickets left, but yeah, it's going to be good stuff. Based on the past, we'll probably be between hurricanes on the 24th. I've been in 5 on the boat so far. All good. Bring it on, dude. Let's do it. At least if Captain Dan's there. If you say it's okay, since you're a real captain, like you give me some confidence it's going to be all right. Oh, let me finish Danny Prez's question. Any gear recommendations? It depends what you're going to do. If you're fishing, one thing I will say is bring something to throw irons. Bring an iron, bring something for top water, either irons, poppers, so like a jig stick, something you can cast. I think that's definitely a must. I guess surface irons kind of like tried and true. Slow pitch jigging, so I would at least bring something to throw irons with, and then some of the fly line baits. And for that can be anything from like a 20 to 50 pound setup with a overhand reel is usually your best bet. You can use spinning too, is fine, but you just know how to set your drag. I'd say like a 300 size probably be fine. 400 size. If you wanted to go bait caster, 400 size bait caster, either the Tranks, the Penn Fathoms, what I use, the Kuma Komodo is a good one too. And you should be good to go. You just use those two, I think you'd be all set. If you plan on slow pitch jigging, the Phoenix Titan, the long fall rod's been kind of my go-to lately because you can cast with it. It's a stick bait rod too, but I can bomb jigs with that thing. I mean, I send 60 grams, like 100 yards with that rod, and then you can slow pitch it too. So it's kind of like a dual purpose rod. So those 3, I would say a slow pitch jigging setup, anything from that goes to like 100 gram to probably 300 gram, surface iron rod, and then something to fly line baits. At minimum, those 3. And then like me, I'm probably going to bring 6 setups. Kevin probably is too. Some of these guys are probably going to bring like a whole bunch of rods. So even if you don't have something, somebody will have something you can use. I'll probably have enough. I'll have multiple slow pitch rods. So it's like, even if somebody wants to try some of my stuff, you can use some of my rods. I've got like, I think 5 slow pitch rods or something like that. So you guys can definitely try those out if you don't have one. I'm sure other people will have stuff too. Aside from that, the bait's usually covered. Yeah, but you should be good. If you've got decent La Jolla stuff, you should be okay. It's a little heavier than bay fishing, but like not tuna heavy. You want like that big bait caster style, that 300 to 400 bait caster setup with like kind of 20 to 50 strength rod with like 30 to 40 pound braid. I'd say you're good. And then bring all kinds of leader. I'll have tons of stuff too. 20 to 40 pound leader. You should be good. I'm taking mono. Fluoro if you want it. A lot of guys use the fluoro. And they've got a lot of stuff on the boat too. Sometimes you have to buy it, like hooks and stuff. Sometimes they give it away. It all depends. Yeah, I don't think you have to spend too much. You still use the quick change clips for inshore? Yeah, I definitely do use the clips for sure. I was even using them offshore. I think on the last trip I might have even been using the clips. I use them for surface irons too. Yeah, I'm still good on the clips. That's the one thing I use. I think the clip is kind of helped me eliminate a lot of the other junk, like the swivels and stuff, because it's not really necessary. There's so much, like when you clip to the jig itself, like here, or even if you go to the split ring, it's like there's so much movement in this. You really don't need a swivel. I mean, this thing, it's gonna wobble. It's never gonna turn around like anyways. And I think you get so much play with a clip, it's fine. So I think if you do the clip, it's kind of redundant to have the swivel and the clip. I don't know if it hurts. Again, I don't think it really hurts, but I don't think it helps. So if it doesn't help, I kind of reduce what you're going with. I've done like swivel onto clip just to be crazy. I mean, that works too, but yeah, I definitely like the clips just because I like changing out stuff. And then on some of my heavier stuff, I get rid of the clip, and then I leave the, if you guys see my old video, I leave the hook just like that on the rod, and then I switch the jig, but I leave the same hook. So if like you're fishing a certain size fish, you can leave the same hook on and then just switch the jig accordingly. And just with a pair of split ring pliers, I leave the split ring with the hook on, and I just keep switching the jig and without the clip. So it's like the line is tied directly to a ring that's on the split ring, and then I change the jig, leaving the hook. So when I know the hook is working, I'll leave that and then just switch the jig accordingly. And that's been kind of my jam lately, like offshore, for a little bit of the bigger stuff when I need to like upsize hooks. And that works too. Then you're just down to split ring pliers, changing this out. And once you get good at that, it's pretty quick too. You just twist it off, put it back on, and you're good. Almost as fast as the clips. Not quite, but it's a good alternative. That's cool though, dude. I'm glad you're going offshore. Hopefully they're still out there. Martin, first trip too. That's awesome, dude. Lots of first timers. I love to see it, man. Hopefully you guys have a blast. Take your medicine. Take some seasick medicine the night before if you had not go out. Trust me. We were just talking about you fishing no luck at the Harbor Island. That sucks, dude. You'll get on them. That's a shore fishing's a grind, man. It's like I've said this before. Shore fishing is like fishing. You know, when you're on a kayak, it's like you're out there to catch. I've never skunked on my kayak before. I've never skunked on my boat. It's like if I get off the water, I'm gonna catch fish. It's gonna be something. Like I know somewhere I can go to catch fish. When you fish from the shore, dude, I skunk like at least 50% of the time, like easy. Surf fishing too is like the same thing. Like that's real fishing. It's hard to fish from the shore. You're limited on your spots. People go to the same areas. You can only cast so far. It's a grind, dude. So there's no shame in that, man. Skunking shore fishing, it's like that happens, man. That's just life. If you're skunking out on a kayak or something, we need to show you some spots. You shouldn't be. And it happens to everybody. It's probably going to happen to me eventually. Nobody's going to escape it, but so far I haven't. It's usually like somewhere I can eke something out. I've had some slow ass days, like 1 or 2 fish days, but I can always get one. Like I can pinch one out. Like I know some spots where I'm like, okay, it's got to be a fish here. I butt hook to try to get the bait to swim down or deeper. Yeah, I've heard that a lot too. Yeah, butt hook works, dude. It works. What's all this bait talk? Sometimes you need it, dude. I fish so much bait, but I think people are gonna fish bait. You know, I don't want to be like you got to go on this trip and only fish artificials. I don't really stop for bait, but I did have to use it. I did use some my last trip. On the second day we fished, dude, they were not having the jigs. We were rolling in on patties. They were going quick. They would only eat the live stuff like so far off of the boat. The baits had to swim so far, and then they were finally getting eaten. But they weren't. The jigs just weren't really doing it at this time. So we had to bait it up. Sometimes you got to do it, dude. That's why I got that bluefin. Night, that's a different story. They'll eat the jigs, no problemo. The deado and yellowfin were eating them, but once we got into that bigger grade, like the second day, it was just different fishing. They wouldn't come to the boat. It was weird. You needed something that was like swimming away from the boat. This is what it is, man. Sometimes you got to do it. I think it's the only time this year, though. Mark from Iowa was trying to talk me into a spinning rod setup for Dorado. I'm not sure I'm sold. Spinning rod, dude. Spinning rod's good, man. I don't. For the longest time, I used like and I still use it. I've got how was it? The Shakespeare Ugly Stick with like a Penn Battle 3, like a 4500. I think it's the bomb, dude. It works. The only tricky thing is the drag. When it's taking off, you have to slam the bell down. That's like the sketchiest thing with it. You can kind of like slow it down with your hand, like when it's coming off, like you grab the line and you can kind of like pump the brakes on it, but eventually you got to hit the trigger. But I just loosen the drag way down, so when you hit it, it's like it takes off, because you could always tighten it up. But spinning is good. The thing about spinning is, like when I use spinning for light jigging, because it comes off the bell so quick, I think spinning rods are better for live bait because the fish just swim, dude. They take that line off. They're not having to work that for the same thing. They don't have to take the line off of the spool. They're not pulling it. Just like it comes off. It just flies off the thing. If you want to get bit on a fly line, spinning is the bomb. Because that fish just goes. It's not getting the resistance. Don't sleep on spinning reels, man. I know in California we're kind of elitist about it. Like you act like, oh, I like in my videos, like one of my early videos, my YouTube videos, I was using a spin. Oh, I was catching big ass like 8-pound bonito, and I was using a spinning reel. And somebody commented like, "Well, spinning reels they're lame. They're for people that can't fish, or like you don't know what you're doing because you're using a spinning reel." It's like whatever, dude. People that say that they don't know what the hell they're talking about. I'm not a spinning reel hater, especially if you're throwing like super like poppers, stick baits, super light stuff like that. Spinning is. You ever tried to bomb like a hard bait on a bait caster, dude? Backlash City, it's crazy. You can cast the hell out of spin. There's definitely a place for spinning reels, man. Poppers is another one. I don't really throw poppers, but like stick baits is the same thing. Like Lucky Crafts and stuff. Fire those things out there. Don't worry about the backlash. I've had a wind knot or two, but they have their place, man. Don't sleep on the spinning reel. They actually do excel in some places that I think conventional struggle in. So maybe get it, man. Tell me how it goes. That'd be awesome. Slow death jigs all day. Oos. That's right, baby. I hope so. If we get into the dodos and the yellowfin, yeah, they're jig city. It's just they get picky. The bluefin during the day, they're like bluefin or diva, man. They're like the most diva fish there is. They're there all day. It's like they boil. And I don't want to eat that. I don't want to eat that. Like, oh, I guess I'll eat this. They're like bluefin are pain in the ass. Daytime bluefin fishing is hard, but we can roll up on the dodos or the yellowfin or yellowtail. It don't matter. Jigs, mono all day, heavy ass mono. Dude, it don't matter. It was funny because we were on the trip and everybody's like, they're out there with their fluorocarbon. Me and Kevin just straight up mono all day, dude. 30-pound, 40-pound, bombing jigs and surface iron. No decrease in fish. They were still eating it, dude. Team mono, 100%. Captain Bill always recommends a 2-speed just in case. Yeah, so that is a thing too. So Captain Bill, he's captain of the Malahide. Where you going? If you've got a big 2-speed, bring it just in case you do run into the big bluefin. They are out there too, and we have been running into them in the second day of our trip. We definitely ran into some big boys. Like I lost 2 fish. I hooked 3. One spooled me out, broke my line. One I had on for like 20 minutes and lost. And then one I finally landed. So, and it was a decent sized bluefin. It was like, I think 35 pounds when I weighed it. That'll put up a fight. I mean, I caught it on a jig stick and a Fathom 15. So it took me like 40 minutes to bring in. But yeah, if you've got one, do it. It's a big investment. You know, rail rods and big rods can cost $500. I mean, that could be $700-800 setup. So that's up to you guys if you don't have it. But if you do have it, it doesn't hurt to bring it. Like, bring what you got, man. If you've got it, bring it. Even if you don't ever use it and it sits there, who cares? At least you brought it. So if you've got the gear, bring it. It's hard to say on the other stuff. You can always rent too. So don't sleep on that as well. Their gear is not always the best, but if you need a big 2-speed and they think we're going to get on them, just rent one. It's freaking cheap. Cheaper than the $800 or $500 you're going to spend on a setup. So yeah, don't sleep on the rental, guys. And they're not the best. I mean, they're wound up with like all mono and stuff like that, but it'll get the job done. Save you some money. Leave the bass gear. Hell no. Take that bass gear. Right? Dude, I love it. I love getting heckled on the slow gear. And then just crushing the fish. It's like the best. Having everybody look at you like, what the hell's going on? You just start crushing it. Ooh, fishing reps, you're back. So just telling them, dude, how we had to go to the dark side and switch to live bait on the second day. But that how we were fishing jigs with the mono and all that, and like it was no big deal. They kept telling us to put on fluorocarbon. We're like, nah. Swivel will help with line twist. I hate it when Spectre is all twisted up. Yeah, dude, I hate that too. You do that with your jigs too? I haven't noticed so much of the twist when you got like the clips and stuff, but yeah, it's definitely something to consider. Definitely something to consider. I mostly fish bay and inshore, so I'm excited. Yeah, a lot of your inshore stuff, it should probably work, to be honest with you. I was catching some decent sized Dorado and yellowfin on 40-gram jigs. I had 15-pound braid and 15-pound mono on 40-gram jigs on my light rod, and I was taking them in no problem. So it's a good fight too. They're fun as hell like that. Yeah. So even inshore stuff should probably be pretty good. The mono, even if you got 15-pound, braid, dude, 15-pound braid will work. Because you could throw on like 20, 30-pound mono. That braid's gonna hold up, dude. I wouldn't worry about it. It's not gonna hold up to the big bluefin and stuff, but it'll definitely hold up to like the dodos and the yellowfin for sure. This will have been my second time on a sport charter. First charter was in 2004. The Indian H&M. Dang, a lot of you guys been either haven't. I didn't know that, you guys. That's awesome. A lot of you guys, it's either your first trip or you haven't been on in a while. That's cool. I'm excited you're going out finally. Yeah, 2004. That's almost 10 years, man. That's good stuff. Bluefin, we're eating the long soak live bait and nothing else this weekend. Yeah, we had that same thing, Cal. Like, dude, bait straight up out there for like 4 minutes. It's half mile swimming from the boat. That's like when I was getting most of my spinning rods, rip fit. Yeah, dude. Kevin knows what's up, dude. Yeah, spinning rods are. Don't sleep on the spinning rods, dude. If Kevin Nakata's telling you spinning rods are no joke, you know spinning rods are no joke. Oh, the Shimano. How do you say that? Thunis 8,000 with the bait runner feature is fantastic. That's where you can adjust it from the back, right? It's got like the drag from the rear end or something like that, even on the spinning. That's cool. Yeah, Fernando, I know you've been out there with the spinning too, dude. Yeah, spinners are great. At least we'll get some spinning love, man. That's what I like to hear. Spinners definitely have their place. Yeah. Don't let anybody clown you. Like somebody trying to gatekeep you on spinning reels. Oh, those people don't know how to fish. 100%. Those are the fakers, dude. Those are the guys that are like, when you post I posted a picture, I think on Facebook or something, of that Dorado, and all these guys were like, the only comments are really, oh, you should learn how to gaff a fish, don't you? You're like, settle down. These fish are 12 feet down. Deckhands gaffing them. There's millions of fish. It's not a big deal, guys. We all know you're professional gaffers. It's the same people. People that clown spinning reels, these dudes don't fish. These are the guys that they heard it somewhere. They're like, buy all the best gear, then they just don't do it. Colt sniper. Hell no, Yoch. Slow death, baby. I fish them like Colt snipers. Same result. I like spinners in the bay with light jigs. Yeah. So do I. I love the spinning. I've used Mitchell 300 spinner once in the 70s. No shame in a spinner. See, the real fishermen know what up. They know what's up. You know spinning's where it's at. Going out on an overnight Saturday with the producer. Need to prepare for the well. Right? Curious to see what Vice says. Crazy. Where are you guys going? You got to be going probably northwest. You guys going to like Tanner? That's the only thing I could think of. Or you keep going north. I know you sure as hell ain't going down south. Maybe. It'd be badass if you did. You could be like, what's that movie? Perfect Storm? Or Castaway? Get shit on by the storm. I hope not, man. Be safe. Even on, oh yeah, that's right. This is not even on the jigs, dude. We were fly lining. Yeah. I was using a straight up circle hook with mono, dude. Straight up 50-pound mono getting bit. Fly lining baits and the bluefin were eating mono. So don't buy into the hype, guys. And I didn't have any of them break off. And actually the one I broke on the braid, and then the one I lost, everything was still intact. Hook was still there. Braid, mono was still good. they can't eat through it, man. That braid, that mono's so good. Pen Slammer 3, yeah, I've heard good things about the Slammer. And the Akuma PCH 760, 50 to 100 equal throttle killer. That's a perfect setup. Right? Well, it depends what size. Not like 100-pound plus. Hell no. You can do a 40-pounder on it. I'm already prepping for lobster fishing, only 1 month away. Marcus, welcome to the show. Oos. I've never gone lobster fishing, to be honest with you. A lot of these guys have, but they do. I see them out there setting out the pots. Some of these guys are really into it. I just haven't done it. Maybe I'll get out there this year. Maybe this will be the year. Because I heard of like you set out the pots and then you go fish. It's not so bad. I just haven't had much interest in like setting a pot and then like, right, you go back and check it. I don't know. I like the activeness of fishing, but I do like lobster. So there's that. Maybe I'll try it out. This year I'll give it a shot. I'm excited though. That is cool. I know a lot of these guys are into the lobster fishing. It's got some good lobster fishermen in here, so hit them up. Made it home. Got my drive fixed. Picked up my new paddle. Hell yeah, dude. I didn't know your drive was broken. I hope you're ready to go. You ready for that hurricane? You gonna go out there and get it done? That's good, dude. What was wrong with the drive? I know mine. I had to get fixed a couple weeks ago. Actually, probably a couple months ago. Squeaky as hell. Oh, we got a couple lobster boys here. Nice, guys. Todd says I hooked a 69-pound bluefin on a lake here. Letting tire AG. It got destroyed. Crew cut off the spinner. Had to try conventional. That's funny, dude. Yeah, they're like, we're just too weak, and they're like, it takes you 4 hours to bring in the fish. Like, that's it. You're done. That's pretty funny. Yeah, it's maybe not the big tuna. Like, okay, let's not bring the spinning reels out for 100+ pounders, but still use it. You can use it. I won't shame you. This is the moral of the story. If you got spinning setups, you're not going to get shamed. Because real anglers know there's a tool for everything. I've got some accurate 2-speed jigs. I'm happy to loan for the 24 trip. Oh, thanks, Captain Dan. That's awesome. Yeah, if you bring them, I mean, that'd be cool. Somebody could use them. Dude, I'm always ready to kill fish, Doug. Are you ready to kill fish? It all depends on what spinner we the 169-pound yellowfin tuna. Dude, 45 minutes, that's pretty good. But it was big spinning reel. Yeah, like I've got a 6,000. I got a 6,500 size with 65-pound braid. Dude, it's got like 40 pounds of drag. It'll do it. It'll do it. Here's one of the things that you have to consider with the spinning reel. And one thing that is a disadvantage on these big things, you cannot rail a spinning reel. And that's one of the biggest problems is the line comes off of the bottom. So you can't set it on the rail. So when you're fighting these big fish, you can put, even if it's not a rail rod you want with the big padding and stuff, but even if it's not, you can still kind of set it there. Like I was using my surface iron rod and I was still putting it on the rail because it had the conventional. When you're dealing with the spinning, you got to hold that bad boy the whole time because you can't put the line and you can't hold it upside down. So it's like, you got to lean back and fight this thing and keep the line off of the rail. So, and when it gets close to the boat, like dipping it down in is like, it's harder because the way the line is positioned. So you do have to think about that. That's why they're another reason they're not as good on the big fish. Is like, you got to hold that thing the whole entire time. You can't break with it. You can't really set it down. With the conventional, you can set that thing on and just take a rest. You keep the tension on, put it on the rail, get your wind a little bit, and you can pick it up and crank it. So there is that to think about. Okay, so maybe not spinning on the big bluefin. I'm saying 50 pounds and under, go for it. Anything bigger, rest in peace. Where do you hoop out of? Yeah, we went like it's like a freaking landmine when it's lobster season. I remember me and Kevin went out last winter and it was like, remember when we came into Mission Bay? Oh my gosh, we had to like set the lights up. It was just like buoys everywhere. It was nuts. I got an 80-pound bluefin on 10,000 size bait runner with 65-pound braid and 60-pound mono leader. That's not bad, dude. 30 minutes. pretty good. I believe most overnight boats are fishing U.S. waters. They're getting their limits and Dorados. Yeah, I heard. Also, a lot of boats aren't going to Mexico because of the limits. For those of you guys that don't know, the Dorado limit in Mexico is only 2 fish. The Dorado limit in the U.S. is 10 fish. So I actually heard, I don't know if it was on a podcast or one of these fishing ports. Somebody talked about it, and I wish I knew because I gave them credit, but it made sense that a lot of the boats were staying in the U.S. and fishing so they can get the higher limits and the bigger fish counts, which was something interesting because people wanted the 10 fish instead of the 2. Kind of makes sense because when we were down in Mexico, it was like, we were just throwing Dorado, we were just throwing them back. We hit the 2 limit like no time, probably like 2 hours, maybe less. And then we had the rest of the day trying to avoid Dorado. Or if we were on the U.S. boat, we could have been stacking them up and eating mahi for a while. Yeah, that's what everybody tells me because it's the big back. Yeah, it's like made for probably lobstering and crabbing because they make my boat in that Pacific Northwest up in Washington. It's probably like what they use it for, crabbing and boating. And also down rigging like salmon and stuff. We're going to get you guys all that information. I was just asking Jessica today. The boat probably leaves like 6 a.m. We're probably going to have to get down there at like 5 pretty early. Definitely by next show or the one before, the week before, we'll do like the whole thing on the submission at sea. All the details, everything you need, all that good stuff. Snap the cable. Oh no, snap the cable 6 miles out once we finally got Oh, because you went. I didn't hear the story. Did you talk about it? I know you mentioned it yesterday. During fish hour. I only watched for like 15 minutes, so I don't know if they got to it. Did you get fish though? And you had to paddle the whole way back? That's miserable, dude. I'm curious to hear the tale. That might be a tale for another day. Unless you guys are going to talk about it Monday. You should be on the fishy hour. That's crazy, man. I lost mine. My drive didn't break. I lost my rudder probably like 3 or 4 miles out in La Jolla. And that sucked balls too. Yeah, they do. I've seen that. Exactly. That's why I wouldn't recommend it. Yeah, for West Coast cattle boats, private boats, fishing boats, no problem. You're all set then, man. Bring it out. We'll see if we get hooked up. Yeah, because we had the yellow fins. We were done with limits like early. It was crazy. Which is weird because most Mexican regulations are like a lot more lax. Like you can keep like black sea bass and stuff and like these other fish, and you can deep fish for rockfish. Deep fish deeper waters for rockfish. But then like when it comes to these pelagic limits, they're like a lot more tight. It's just crazy. Crazy how that works. What boat do you have? I've got a Rima Sea Chaser Yellowtail 19-foot. So I just got Simrad Electronics. I got an Airmar transducer just put in, so I took it out yesterday. Testing all the electronics, got the radio installed and all that. So I'm still pretty new boater, to be honest with you. I've probably taken it out probably like 7 times at this point. I've had it. They had it in the shop like 2 months. I had it like 2 months, took it out. So I'm still getting used to it, still learning. Still starting the engine when it's not in the water. You know, all the Guggen stuff. But I launch it by myself. I mean, I'm able to launch it, get it in, strap it down. I'm going out there on the solo voyages, just learning it, man. That's all you can do. I'm definitely not a pro. I'm like white belt boater. Maybe not white belt. I'm like 2-stripe white belt. I see some of these dudes at the, and I'm like, and I feel like a professional, to be honest with you. So I can't be that bad. I could back in a trailer. I could launch the boat. I can get it in. I see some of these poor guys. It's like, I feel for them, but luckily I've never had problems like backing in trailers and like that sort of stuff. My brain like works mechanically enough. Like I've been good there. I have like a natural feel for it, but like learning all the boating ins and outs, trimming the motors, trimming the motor up, using my trim tabs. I'm definitely getting it for sure though. Like getting that feel for when it's like planing, and then getting the engine to that sweet spot where you're like just cruising. Like those are the things that like I'm really getting, like having to learn and pick up on. First couple times out, it was terrible. Like engines like down in the water, it's like revving high. But now I'm starting to get it. I'm out there cruising, acting like I'm a big shot. Definitely still learning for sure though. So if you guys got any boating tips, definitely let me know. All right, guys. If you don't have any more questions, I think we'll wrap it up. I don't think many of you guys will be fishing this weekend, unfortunately. If you do, be safe. Have fun out there. Hopefully you guys get on them. We'll see what happens next show. I mean, hopefully we should know kind of what's out there, what the hurricane brings us, what the tropical storm is going to bring. Super excited. Just kind of a waiting game at this point. It's going to be muddy for a little while. Probably going to be early, next week's probably not going to be till Wednesday, Thursday. We get out on the water till it all kind of clears up. Should be good. Submission at seas coming up. And yeah, should be it. Thank you for all the channel members, all you guys that subscribe. I really appreciate it. All the new faces I see in here, thank you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the show. Come back. We're here every Thursday. The chat's great. Thanks for participating and adding to it. I really appreciate it. You guys are cool. And yeah, if you want slow death jigs, go check out the tackle stores we're in. Submissionfishing.com. Get your gear, get your stickers, help support the stream. I really appreciate it, guys. And yeah, that's it. Till next time, get your black belts and fishing, guys. Oos.